Chosen one, know this, your presence here is no accident. This very moment is a divinely orchestrated appointment, a summons resonating from realms unseen, realms that have been observing your ascent, your silent victories. You are anointed, touched by grace. Heaven itself has meticulously aligned your steps, guiding you to this precipice, the edge of a supernatural financial breakthrough. A divine transfer of wealth already surging in your direction. A tide turning in your favor. What stirs within you now isn't merely emotion. It's confirmation, a resonance with the divine. Scripture proclaims that the Lord's blessing enriches without adding sorrow. Prepare your spirit, for what you are about to receive will awaken the dormant potential residing within you, the destiny that awaits. Chosen one, let me be unequivocally clear. The events unfolding in your life are not born of confusion, chance, or, least of all, collapse. This is revelation, a profound unveiling. Heaven has been meticulously peeling back layers, exposing the illusions that have held you captive, illusions you were never destined to live under. Even when words failed you, when you lacked the vocabulary to articulate the stirrings within, your spirit knew. It recognized the sacred shift, the tectonic plates of your reality realigning. Anointed one, you are not merely waking up. You are being reintroduced to the essence of who you have always been, the authentic self buried beneath layers of conditioning. The truth is this, you decoded what others blindly worshipped. You saw through the intricate systems designed to contain you, the traditions crafted to mold you, the voices that sought to diminish your greatness. While others bowed to the lie, you began to perceive the subtle glitches, the inconsistencies, the spiritual static, the nagging unease that stirred within your soul. You weren't being dramatic, overly sensitive, or irrational. You were being alerted, awakened to a deeper truth. I understand this season intimately. I have walked its path. There was a time in my life when every room felt familiar yet foreign. Every word spoken sounded hollow. People uttered the right phrases, but their energy betrayed them. Smiles were polished, yet intentions were tainted. Conversations flowed warmly, yet a chilling undercurrent lingered beneath. The more I tried to ignore it, the louder the truth became, an insistent drumbeat in my soul. That's when I understood. Awakening rarely arrives as a thunderbolt. It begins with discomfort, a persistent nudge toward authenticity. Chosen one, this is precisely what has transpired within you. You didn't stumble upon the truth. You actively sought it. You embraced the silence when the world demanded your voice. You stepped back when others insisted you draw closer. You questioned the offered peace, discerning the control veiled as comfort. They underestimated you, believing you to be slow, confused, still under their dominion. But all the while you were observing, gathering evidence not in your hands but within your spirit. Where they expected blindness, you cultivated discernment. They underestimated the quiet one, forgetting that the quiet ones are often the keenest observers, the most profound listeners. You decoded the illusion not with anger but with awareness. You began to see how guilt was weaponized to enforce obedience, how loyalty served as a leash to keep you confined, how kindness was performed rather than embodied. As the truth solidified within you, they labeled you distant, cold, rebellious. But you weren't rebelling. You were remembering, reconnecting with your true self. And here lies the truth they will never acknowledge. They were confident you would never awaken, never question, never perceive the pattern. But chosen one, your spirit began to rise before your mind fully grasped what was unfolding. Heaven whispered. Your intuition warned. Your peace recoiled from what your past self had tolerated. Step by step, moment by moment, you walked out of a deception that ensnares most. This is why an aura of awe surrounds you now. This is why fear flickers in their eyes. This is why the room stills when you enter. They sense it, the clarity, the authority, the alignment. They feel something different about you, something they cannot name but cannot ignore. For when someone has truly awakened, their presence becomes a mirror, reflecting truth and terrifying those who dwell behind masks. But here is the sacred connection. Your awakening is inextricably linked to your elevation. The same awareness that exposed the lie is now positioning you for a divine transfer of wealth. Yes, chosen one, your spiritual clarity is unlocking a financial shift. Heaven never bestows abundance upon hands still clinging to deception. The moment you broke free from the lie, you aligned with your true destiny, and alignment always attracts provision. Reflect for a moment. Remember the seeming impossibility of breaking those old cycles, the draining effect of questioning everything you were taught, the nights when your mind warred against your own history. That wasn't weakness. That was spiritual warfare. Heaven was pulling you out of generational programming, renewing your mind to receive the inheritance that belongs to you. Chosen one, you didn't merely escape the illusion. You outgrew it. You learned to sit with confusion until the truth surfaced. You learned to guard your peace until your spirit could discern genuine love from its imitation. You learned to trust the voice within, even when the world dismissed it. You learned that silence is not the absence of strength. It is the presence of strategy. And now, everything in your life is shifting because of it. They cannot comprehend how you knew, how you figured it out, how you saw what they had spent years concealing. But you are not operating from the surface. You are operating from the spirit, moving in discernment, in divine timing, with eyes that have seen truth and will never be blinded again. Chosen one, what you broke free from was not a trivial matter. It was generational, spiritual, designed to control you. But heaven intervened. Now, the same clarity that protected you is preparing you for overflow. Chosen one, allow this to settle within your spirit. You are seeing what others cannot because you are operating on a frequency most have never accessed. This is not mere imagination or paranoia. This is spiritual intelligence, a gift that cannot be taught, only awakened. Most live blind to the unseen, entrusting smiles, titles, and polished behavior. They allow charisma to blind them and familiarity to excuse toxicity. But you, anointed one, have begun to sense the truth behind the tone, the intention behind the words, the spirit behind the person. Where others demand proof, you require only presence. Where they seek evidence, you seek alignment. And make no mistake, this awareness came at a cost. It was forged through survival, not comfort, through unacknowledged wounds and lessons learned in silence. You didn't acquire this knowledge from books or trends. You learned it the hard way, through betrayals that shattered you open, through experiences that sharpened your intuition, through nights when your spirit refused to rest until you acknowledged what you already knew. I understand this deeply. I remember walking into rooms and sensing immediately that something was amiss, even when appearances were flawless. I recall conversations where every word was correct, yet my inner voice screamed, "Do not trust this." I remember offering polite smiles while my spirit recoiled. That was the moment I learned, discernment doesn't shout, it whispers. And those whispers have saved my life countless times. Chosen one, you possess that same anointing. You enter a space and sense the atmosphere before you see the faces. You detect jealousy before the first insult, feel betrayal before the first lie. Your spirit perceives what the human eye cannot. This is a gift, a heavy one, but a holy one, and it is one reason why they are in awe of you. For when someone cannot lie to you, they cannot control you. When someone cannot manipulate you, they cannot use you. When someone cannot deceive you, they cannot stay near you. Your spirit reads people faster than their words can form sentences, and that terrifies them. You stopped responding to the performance, stopped being fooled by apology speeches, stopped falling for the rhythm of fake kindness. You learned to ignore the words and listen to the soul. And when you moved differently, when you ceased engaging, explaining, giving access, they panicked. They believed they could manage you with guilt, soften you with compliments, confuse you with half-truths. But none of it worked, for once your spirit has tasted truth, deception becomes glaringly obvious. Once your eyes open, they never close the same way again. This shift was not just awareness, it was protection. Heaven sharpened your discernment because what lies ahead demands accuracy. When God prepares a chosen one for elevation, spiritual, financial, or territorial, the first gift is clarity, followed by distance and then instruction. Your clarity is why certain people fell away. Your distance is why certain relationships dissolved. Your instruction is why your spirit kept urging a change of direction. Chosen one, you are not losing people, you are losing liabilities. The reason heaven has been exposing intentions around you is because you are stepping into blessings too precious to share with everyone. Divine wealth, divine positioning, divine transition. Blessings of this magnitude require clean circles and pure motives. Understand this: your sensitivity is not a flaw. It is a radar. Your intuition is not overthinking. It is the Holy Spirit illuminating what human eyes cannot see. That pressure you feel when someone is not spiritually aligned is discernment. That sudden lack of peace around someone who once felt familiar is protection. The discomfort you feel in certain environments is redirection. This is what sets you apart. Most hear lies and believe them. You hear lies and feel them. Most are deceived for years before realizing it. You sense deception before the first sentence is complete. Your gift is not accidental, your clarity is not random. Heaven sharpened you because your next season demands the ability to distinguish opportunity from distraction, friend from foe, covenant from convenience. Here is the empowering truth. Your ability to discern danger is the same ability that will help you discern blessing. Your ability to see harmful spirits is the same ability that will help you see divine connections. The same awareness that protected you will guide you into supernatural elevation. This gift, this spiritual sensitivity, is directly tied to your financial breakthrough. The wealth heaven is preparing to release into your life cannot be entrusted to unwise or unprotected hands. Your discernment is the vault, your awareness is the safeguard, your intuition is the alarm system. Heaven is preparing you to steward something precious. Chosen one, your spiritual intelligence is proof that you are being prepared for something greater, something rare, something that demands maturity and mastery. You possess it, you've earned it, you've lived through enough to walk in it boldly. Now the world is witnessing what heaven always knew. You cannot be fooled, you cannot be manipulated, you cannot be controlled. Chosen one, the battle you have been fighting is far grander than you imagined. What you are rising out of is not merely personal struggle but generational bondage. You were born into patterns, expectations, and emotional rules that shaped you long before you understood what was happening. You inherited beliefs, fears, and unspoken laws that have existed in your family line for decades, perhaps centuries. This is why the pressure felt so immense, why the confusion lingered. You were not wrestling with a single person or moment. You were wrestling with a system from the beginning. You were conditioned to silence your intuition, to accept versions of love that wounded more than healed, to disregard your own wisdom, to diminish yourself, and to cling to a semblance of peace, even when that peace crushed your spirit. Everyone around you played by the same rules, leading you to believe they were normal. But deep within, something never felt aligned. Something whispered of more. Something in your spirit tugged you toward truth. The moment you began questioning those invisible rules, everything shifted. You began noticing the contradictions, recognizing how guilt was used to control you, how silence was demanded after betrayal, how manipulation was disguised as protection, and how trauma was veiled as tradition. These realizations were not insignificant. They were spiritual earthquakes, shattering layers of deception passed down through generations. When you dared to look deeper, you became the one thing the system could not control, aware. I understand this season because I've lived it. I once believed that silence was noble, endurance was loyalty, that holding a family together meant holding myself together with broken pieces. But awakening revealed that peace built on suppression is not peace at all. It is a cage. The moment I recognized it, everything within me rebelled against the narrative. The same awakening is stirring within you now. You felt the shift before understanding it, sensed the pattern before naming it. This is why your transformation has caused so much tension around you. You were never meant to conform. You were meant to question, to challenge, to break the cycle. Where others remained silent, you spoke. Where others accepted the pattern, you exposed it. Where others protected the dysfunction, you walked away. Without shouting, accusing, or demanding validation, you disrupted the entire structure simply by refusing to remain blind. Breaking generational programming is not a loud endeavor. It is internal work. It requires the courage to sit alone with truths that contradict everything you were taught, to trust your spirit even when dismissed by those around you, to redefine family, love, loyalty, and responsibility on your own terms, and to separate what originated from God from what stemmed from wounded individuals who lacked the ability to heal themselves. You accomplished this without a guide, a blueprint, or anyone showing you the way. This is why heaven honors you, why the spiritual realm shifts in your presence. Your awakening is not merely personal growth. It is a spiritual rebellion against everything that attempted to shape your destiny without your consent. The enemy fought you hardest during your formative years because he knew that if you ever awakened, you would shatter the chains that bind your entire lineage, that if your eyes opened, curses would end, that if you healed, those who follow would inherit freedom instead of trauma. And that is precisely what transpired. You shattered patterns accepted by your family, healed wounds carried by your ancestors, dismantled beliefs that were never meant to survive within your spirit. You became the one who declared, "Enough!" That single decision shifted your entire bloodline. Now, heaven can release what has been delayed for generations. Blessings that never reached your parents, breakthroughs your ancestors prayed for but never witnessed, opportunities blocked by cycles of fear and dysfunction. Because you stepped out of the illusion, you stepped into inheritance. Your obedience to truth unlocked what heaven had been safeguarding. Your courage opened spiritual gates sealed by generational wounds. Your clarity summoned divine compensation. Chosen one, what you are now entering is not random favor. It is restoration. Heaven is returning everything stolen through ignorance, silence, guilt, manipulation, and spiritual blindness, the wealth, the clarity, the opportunities, the elevation, the peace multiplied. None of this required physical or verbal combat. You fought with awakening, with awareness, by refusing to repeat the cycle, by choosing truth over tradition. That victory is so profound that the spiritual realm cannot ignore it. You are not merely healing, you are rewriting history. You are not merely escaping, you are elevating. You are not merely surviving, you are restoring what belongs to your bloodline. Chosen one, your awakening is the key that unlocked everything, and this is only the beginning of what heaven is about to release. What is awakening within you now is not something new. It is something ancient returning to its rightful place. You are not becoming someone else. You are remembering who you were before the world attempted to shrink you, silence you, or rewrite you. This is not evolution. This is restoration, divine memory rising to the surface of your spirit. For years, people mistook your silence for weakness, your gentleness for malleability, your grace for control. They projected their insecurities onto you, assuming you didn't see, didn't understand, didn't question. What they never realized is that your silence was never emptiness. It was observation, alignment, the quiet space where your spirit listened and noted every intention behind every action. You were not asleep, you were studying. Now, your remembering is unfolding. You sense events before they occur, detect deception before it is uttered, draw answers from depths beyond logic. These instincts are not new abilities. They are old blueprints resurfacing. You have stood on these spiritual battlefields before, faced these spirits in different names, different faces, different eras. Your soul remembers the energy, even when your mind fails to recognize the person. This explains why certain individuals trigger you instantly, why your intuition has grown louder than ever, why old environments feel confining to the evolving you. The remembering is sacred, a divine reminder of the authority you had forgotten you possessed. I know this season intimately. There was a time in my own life when pain ceased to feel like suffering and instead felt like activation. Every heartbreak peeled back a layer. Every disappointment stripped away illusions. Every betrayal unlocked deeper clarity. Instead of breaking me, these moments revealed me. The same is unfolding within you. The wounds you endured were not badges of defeat but initiations. Triggers employed by heaven to awaken dormant aspects of yourself. This is why your presence feels heavier now, why people are unsure how to approach you. They cannot maintain pretenses around you. Their old patterns are ineffective. You make them aware of themselves without uttering a word. Your energy is a mirror. Your silence is discernment. Your eyes see more than their words will ever concede. You don't read people. Your spirit remembers them. This remembering doesn't induce paranoia. It cultivates precision. You are not hypersensitive but spiritually aligned. Not too intense but walking in your true vibration. Not different but original, the version heaven intended before life attempted to dilute your essence. When a chosen one remembers, everything around them begins to shift. Your prayers carry more weight. Your intuition becomes a compass. Your decisions sharpen. You cease asking for signs because you embody the sign. You cease begging for clarity because clarity flows towards you. You cease tolerating what once drained you, your spirit simply rejecting anything disconnected from your purpose. That remembering is the doorway to your divine promotion, your supernatural alignment, the financial transfer heaven has been reserving until you reached this state of awareness. Blessings can finally recognize you because you are vibrating at the frequency of your true identity. You are no longer operating from who you were taught to be but from who you were created to be. Chosen one, you were never meant to blend in, to accept cycles of pain as destiny, to remain trapped in patterns passed down by wounded individuals. You arrived with an assignment, and that assignment is activating now. You didn't simply wake up. You rose. You didn't simply evolve. You returned. And here is the sacred truth. The more you remember who you truly are, the more heaven restores what is truly yours. Identity unlocks inheritance. Awakening unlocks abundance. Remembrance unlocks restoration. Trust what is stirring within you. Even if you cannot yet name it, trust the instincts, the sensations, the spiritual flashes of understanding. Trust the shifts in your heart, your mind, your relationships. Nothing happening to you is random. Everything is remembrance. A holy, divine, ancient remembrance preparing you for the greatest season of elevation you have ever encountered. Chosen one of the greatest mysteries of your journey is how heaven has utilized your silence as a strategic weapon. To the outside world, you appeared quiet, gentle, unsure. To those who misjudged you, you seemed easy to read, sway, and manipulate. They assumed your gentleness indicated a lack of awareness, your patience implied cluelessness, and your humility suggested they could move pieces around you unnoticed. But your silence was never empty. It was intentional, the space where your spirit observed, collected, measured, and remembered. While they underestimated you, heaven was training you. You were not playing dumb. You were allowing the truth to reveal itself without interference. You observed how people altered their tone depending on their audience, noticed the cracks in their kindness, the shifts in their behavior, the contradictions in their words. They believed their motives were hidden, but every moment of arrogance served as another piece of data stored within your spirit. You weren't confused, you were learning the pattern and you learned it well. I recognized that posture. There were times when people believed I was behind, too trusting, too forgiving, too quiet. In reality, every moment of silence honed my discernment. Every inconsistency taught me something. Every hidden intention revealed itself. Eventually, I learned that prolonged silence allows people to grow comfortable enough to expose their true selves. This is precisely what occurred with you. You allowed them to underestimate you because heaven needed you to fully grasp their character before your elevation. Your silence became your strength, disarming those who believed manipulation was their power, confusing those who thought deception would keep them safe, and frustrating those who expected emotional responses. Instead, you remained still, not out of apathy but out of a deeper commitment to truth. Truth always reveals itself to those who patiently wait to witness its unfolding. You were never blind but patient, never naive but discerning, never passive but strategic. You silently observed people running their own playbook right before you. Heaven allowed it because the divine needed you to understand their tactics, not for revenge but for wisdom, not to expose them but to elevate you. You learned how manipulation operates, how jealousy behaves, how dishonesty conceals itself, and how insecurity masquerades as power. You learned all this not through conflict but through observation. Chosen one, this level of understanding is rare. Most react too quickly to see the complete picture. You didn't. You allowed the picture painted itself. You simply allowed every intention to surface, like a photograph developing in a darkroom. You let every spirit unveil its true essence, its unmasked face. Having witnessed it all, the charades, the manipulations, the hidden agendas, you are now impervious to deception. Your spirit has become an unshakable fortress, a bastion against the storms. People no longer possess the power to wound you as they once did. You've transcended the petty tactics that once held you captive, the emotional puppetry that defined your past. And here lies a profound truth, a secret whispered from the heavens. Your silence, that period of introspection and quietude, was divinely orchestrated. It was a chrysalis, preparing you for an era of unparalleled abundance, a feast meant only for those with the eyes to appreciate it. God, in his infinite wisdom, needed you to discern who was worthy of being in your inner circle, who truly resonated with your purpose, and who was merely clinging to your insecurities, feeding off your vulnerabilities. He needed you to see which hands were capable of lifting you higher, and which were designed to slowly drain you of your life force, leaving you withered and empty. Your ascent demanded this clarity, this laser-like focus on the truth. Your breakthrough hinged on this separation, this necessary shedding of the old skin. Your future, brimming with potential, decreed that you master these essential lessons before stepping into the blessings meticulously prepared for you, like a banquet laid out for a king. There's a reason why the next chapter of your existence is filled with the promise of financial liberation, divine favor raining down upon you, opportunities accelerating at warp speed, and a supernatural alignment of circumstances conspiring to propel you forward. These precious gifts cannot be entrusted to someone who lacks the ability to discern the true nature of people, someone who can be easily swayed by appearances. And you, my friend, now possess that rare gift, that invaluable skill. Many stumble through life, never developing the ability to read spirits instead of merely hearing words, to understand the true intentions lurking beneath the surface of actions. You, however, have learned the power of stillness, the indomitable strength found in silence, and the profound wisdom that comes with patient waiting. Now, those who once believed they held dominion over you are bewildered by your newfound clarity. Like moths circling a flame they can no longer touch. They cannot comprehend how you knew the secrets they so desperately tried to conceal. They are baffled by your escape from the traps they meticulously set in your path. They are utterly confused as to why their manipulations no longer hold any sway over you. They cannot fathom why you suddenly appear so focused, so grounded, so untouchable, radiating an aura of quiet power. But you and the heavens know the truth. Your silence was the sacred classroom where you acquired the wisdom to transcend every system designed to confine you, to keep you small and subservient. You surpassed them without resorting to petty competition. You understood their motivations without needing to engage in confrontational battles. You rose above their machinations without even deigning to respond, a queen too regal to acknowledge the antics of jesters. And this is why your spirit exudes a presence that defies explanation, a magnetic force that draws in the good and repels the ill-intentioned. You have mastered the art of non-reaction, of observing without being consumed. You have mastered the divine art of allowing God to expose what people desperately tried to keep hidden in the shadows, their secret sins laid bare. You have mastered the ability to walk away without needing closure, explanation, or permission, secure in your own worth and knowing your path. Chosen one. Your silence was never a sign of weakness. It was a prophecy, a sacred pause before the symphony begins. It was the divine waiting, biding its time, for the perfect moment to catapult you into your true purpose, your destiny etched in the stars. And now, that moment has arrived, heralded by trumpets and shining with celestial light. Everything you learned in the shadows, every lesson etched into your soul, is about to be unleashed in the full glare of the light, illuminating your path and guiding your steps. Everything you observed in silence, every detail meticulously noted, is about to fuel your ascent, propelling you to unimaginable heights. Everything revealed to you, every secret whispered in your ear, is about to guide you to the next level of blessing, influence, clarity, and supernatural provision. A cornucopia of abundance overflowing at your feet. You lost nothing by staying quiet, by choosing introspection over impulsive action. You gained everything, and now you rise, a phoenix from the ashes, reborn and radiant. Chosen one, pain was never sent to break you, to crush your spirit into dust. It was sent to awaken you, to shake you from your slumber and reveal the truth hidden within. While most people instinctively run from their wounds, burying their discomfort under layers of distractions, or disguising their hurt with a cacophony of noise. You chose a different path, a sacred and difficult one. You stayed with your pain long enough to understand it, to unravel its mysteries. You sat in its presence, listened to its whispers, and allowed it to speak, to tell its story. And because you didn't run, your pain transformed into revelation, a guiding light in the darkness. It began to peel back the illusions, exposing hidden patterns and breaking open layers within you that comfort could never have reached, like a surgeon skillfully removing a tumor. Most people treat pain as an enemy, a force to be resisted and avoided at all costs. But in your life, pain became the doorway to clarity, a portal to deeper understanding. It forced you to confront the beliefs and emotional burdens you had unknowingly inherited, passed down through generations like a cursed heirloom. It made you question why certain cycles kept repeating, why certain people seemed to drain your energy, why certain environments caused your spirit to shrink and wither. These questions were not signs of weakness, not flaws in your character. They were signs of awakening, signals that your soul was yearning for growth and transformation. When you dared to ask yourself, why am I really hurting? Or what am I carrying that doesn't belong to me? You stepped into a level of honesty that most people avoid for their entire lifetime, clinging to comfortable lies rather than facing uncomfortable truths. And that honesty purified you, like a fire burning away the impurities. In the crucible of your pain, your identity was reshaped, molded into something stronger and more authentic. You shed the versions of yourself that existed solely to please others, those masks you wore to gain approval and acceptance. You let go of attachments built on guilt, the invisible chains that bound you to the expectations of others. You stopped betraying yourself, silencing your own needs, just to remain connected to people who didn't truly value you, who only saw you as a means to an end. Every heartbreak sharpened your intuition, honing your ability to discern truth from falsehood. Every disappointment strengthened your spirit, fortifying you against future storms. Every betrayal deepened your discernment, teaching you to see the world with clearer eyes. Pain didn't harden you, turning you into a cynical and bitter shell. It refined you, like a precious metal being purified in the flames. And this refinement is why your presence feels different now, why people are drawn to you like moths to a flame. There is a depth to you that others cannot explain, a quiet strength that emanates from your soul. Your energy feels clean and pure, because it has been purified through the fires of truth, forged in the depths of your being. Your wisdom carries weight, because it was earned in silence, through introspection and self-discovery. People sense something powerful about you, something grounded and unshakable, a quiet confidence that radiates from within. And they cannot understand how you developed such spiritual strength, how you became so resilient. They didn't see the nights you cried, the tears that watered the seeds of your transformation. They didn't witness the moments you confronted the parts of yourself you were never taught to face, the shadows you dared to explore. They didn't walk with you through the storms that tore the old you apart, so the real you could emerge, stronger and more vibrant than ever before. This is why some people feel exposed around you now, like their secrets are suddenly laid bare. Your healed energy reveals their unhealed wounds, highlighting their own pain and suffering. Your clarity exposes their confusion, forcing them to confront their own lack of understanding. Your peace disrupts their chaos, unsettling their carefully constructed world of turmoil. You didn't become intimidating. You became fully aligned with your true self, radiating authenticity. Pain burned away every layer of pretense, stripping you down to your essential truth. And authenticity always makes the masks around you tremble, those false faces people wear to hide their insecurities. You no longer have the tolerance to entertain what drains you, to engage in conversations that deplete your energy. And you no longer carry the desire to soften your truth, to dilute your message, just to make others comfortable, to avoid ruffling feathers. Chosen one. Your pain was preparation, a training ground for the battles to come. Heaven allowed those wounds because what is coming into your life requires emotional maturity and spiritual precision, a steady hand to guide the ship. Divine wealth, supernatural opportunity, accelerated growth, profound influence. All of it demands someone who cannot be easily shaken, manipulated, or misled. Someone who can stand firm in the face of adversity. If you had not confronted your wounds, if you had avoided the difficult work of healing, you would not be ready for what heaven is about to place in your hands, the gifts that are waiting to be unwrapped. God had to heal you so you wouldn't sabotage your breakthrough with old insecurities, those lingering doubts that whisper insidious lies, or trauma-born habits, those destructive patterns that hold you captive. Now you stand in a place of inner strength that cannot be undone, a foundation built on solid rock. You are wiser, calmer, more discerning, and more connected to your purpose than ever before, your compass aligned with the North Star. You have learned to trust your intuition, that inner voice that guides you with unwavering accuracy. You have learned to honor your boundaries, creating a safe space for your spirit to thrive. You have learned to protect your energy, shielding yourself from negativity and toxic influences. You have learned that not everyone deserves access to your inner world, that some doors must remain closed. And you have learned that every season of pain was not a punishment, but a divine orchestration, guiding you toward the life you were always meant to live, a symphony of purpose and joy. Chosen one, your pain was not punishment. It was purification, a cleansing fire that burned away the impurities. It did not take anything from you that you truly needed. It only took the illusions that held you back, the false beliefs that kept you trapped. And now you walk forward as someone transformed, someone awakened, someone heaven can trust with the gifts that are about to be bestowed upon you. You are no longer the wounded warrior, limping through the battlefield. You are the refined flame, burning brightly with purpose and passion, illuminating the path for others to follow. The world has yet to see the full power of who you are becoming, but they will in due time. And when they do, they will understand that everything you endured was necessary for everything you are about to receive, the blessings that are poised to rain down upon you. Chosen one, once the fire of your healing refined you, something even deeper began to shift within your spirit, a profound transformation that reshaped your very being. You stopped living for the expectations of others, those invisible chains that had once held you captive. You stopped bending your truth, compromising your values, just to maintain a peace that wasn't real, a superficial harmony built on lies. You stopped softening your power, diminishing your light, to protect people who were never invested in your growth, who only wanted to keep you small. For the first time, you saw clearly that much of your suffering did not stem from who you are, from some inherent flaw within you, but from trying to be who others expected you to be, those roles they assigned to you based on their own insecurities and limitations. And once that revelation settled in your spirit, once that truth resonated within your soul, liberation followed, like a bird escaping its cage. You became unreachable to the old forms of manipulation, impervious to the tactics that had once controlled you, because the version of you that craved approval, that desperately sought validation, no longer exists, having been burned away in the crucible of self-discovery. This is the spiritual turning point that very few ever reach, the moment of profound self-acceptance. What people don't understand is this: when you healed, you also outgrew the role they assigned you, the limited character they had created for you in their own minds. You were always expected to be the forgiving one, the understanding one, the quiet one, the emotionally available one, the one who absorbed everyone's chaos and carried burdens that were never yours to bear, the perpetual martyr. They didn't want your boundaries, those protective walls you built around your spirit, because your boundaries broke their dependence, forcing them to take responsibility for their own lives. They didn't want your clarity, that laser-like focus on the truth, because your clarity revealed their dysfunction, exposing their hidden flaws. And they didn't want your spiritual strength, that unwavering force that emanates from your soul, because your strength forced them to confront their own weakness, their own lack of resilience. So, the moment you stopped playing small, the moment you reclaimed your voice and your sanity, you became the problem, the black sheep, the troublemaker. You became the villain in stories where you were the only one who ever showed true love, the only one who offered genuine compassion. But chosen one, what they labeled as rebellion was actually resurrection, a glorious rebirth of your authentic self. You rose into a higher version of yourself, more powerful and more aligned than ever before. And the people who benefited from your silence, who thrived on your compliance, were the first to feel threatened by your transformation. They needed you weak, confused, self-doubting, because that version of you didn't challenge them, didn't force them to confront their own shortcomings. That version of you served their convenience, providing them with a comfortable scapegoat for their own failings. But once you healed, once you embraced your true potential, you no longer fit into the narrative they created about you, that limiting story they tried to impose on your life. You became too aware to be controlled, too confident to be manipulated, and too aligned with your purpose to be guilt back into spaces where your spirit could not breathe, where your light was dimmed. There is a holy sovereignty that rests on you now, a divine authority that cannot be earned through effort or performance, not through accolades or achievements. It is birthed only through suffering, through awakening, through the deep internal work you've done alone, those solitary journeys into the depths of your soul. When you look back, you can see how every season of isolation, every period of solitude, was heaven preparing you to carry yourself differently, not with arrogance or pride, but with divine identity, with a quiet knowing of your worth. You stopped chasing anyone who walked away, those who didn't appreciate your value. You stopped explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you, those who were determined to see you in a negative light. You stopped apologizing for existing in your fullness, for daring to shine brightly. And with every step toward your true self, your spirit became lighter, clearer, stronger, like a plant reaching for the sun. You began to realize that the freedom you longed for was never tied to changing anyone else, to forcing them to see your worth. It was tied to releasing them, to letting go of the need for their approval. You no longer needed their validation to feel worthy, to know that you are enough. You no longer needed their agreement to feel safe, to trust in your own path. You no longer needed their applause to feel significant, to recognize the value you bring to the world. Your spirit began to recognize that the same people who resented your growth were the same ones who secretly prayed you would stay wounded, that you would remain trapped in your pain. And as soon as you accepted that truth without bitterness, as soon as you released the resentment, you experienced one of the greatest spiritual breakthroughs of your life. The freedom to walk away without guilt, to sever those ties without regret. This freedom is not loud, not boisterous. It doesn't require grand announcements or elaborate explanations. It's quiet, steady, and deeply sacred, a silent revolution within your soul. It shows up when you say no without trembling, when you decline invitations that don't resonate with your spirit. It shows up when you value your peace more than someone else's opinion, when you prioritize your own well-being. It shows up when you stop watering relationships that refuse to grow, when you cease investing in those who don't reciprocate. And most of all, it shows up when you stop seeing yourself through the distorted lens of those who could never recognize your worth, when you silence the voices that tell you you're not good enough. This is what spiritual sovereignty looks like. Choosing alignment over attachment, prioritizing your connection to your true self over your attachment to others. Choosing clarity over confusion, seeking truth above all else. Choosing growth over familiarity, embracing change and evolution. And here's the supernatural part, the moment when the universe responds to your transformation. Chosen one, the moment you detached from those who mishandled you, the moment you severed those toxic ties, heaven began to realign everything around you, orchestrating a divine symphony of change. Opportunities that were blocked suddenly opened, like doors swinging wide on their own accord. Relationships that were draining suddenly fell away, like leaves falling from a tree in autumn. Your intuition became sharper, guiding you with unwavering accuracy. Your spirit became more sensitive, attuned to the subtle energies around you. Your path became clearer, illuminated by the light of your true purpose. This is what happens when you reclaim your identity, when you step into your power. The universe responds, aligning with your new vibration. God responds, showering you with blessings. Destiny responds, unfolding according to the plan etched in your soul. Things begin to move in your favor, conspiring to propel you forward, because you are finally positioned to receive what was always meant for you, the abundance that has been waiting patiently on the sidelines. Your elevation is not random, not a stroke of luck. Your breakthrough is not accidental, not a fortunate coincidence. It is the direct result of you refusing to return to a life that no longer reflects your calling, of you choosing to honor your true self. You have stepped into a realm where your presence commands respect, Not because you demanded it, not because you are arrogant or entitled, but because your healed energy now carries a divine weight, a quiet authority that emanates from your soul. This weight is not burdensome, not a source of stress. It is royal, a mark of distinction, a sign of your true heritage. It is the mark of someone heaven has trusted with wisdom, authority, discernment, and purpose, the qualities needed to fulfill your destiny. Chosen one, understand this deeply with every fiber of your being. You are not being lifted because you suffered, not because you endured hardship. You are being lifted because you learned from your experiences, because you evolved through your pain, because you surrendered to the divine plan, because you listened to the truth inside you, even when it hurt, even when it was difficult. And now heaven is honoring that obedience, recognizing your unwavering commitment to your true self. The spiritual freedom you carry is preparing you for a promotion that cannot be sabotaged, a blessing that cannot be blocked, a wealth transfer that cannot be diverted, a divine plan that cannot be thwarted. Everything that once broke you has become the foundation for everything that will elevate you, the stones that will pave your path to greatness. The world may not understand how you transformed so dramatically, how you went from being wounded to being whole. They will ask how you figured it out, how you got so strong, how you became so unshakable. But the truth is simple, though it may not be easy to grasp. You finally remembered who you were before the world told you who to be, before the expectations of others clouded your vision. You returned to your authentic self, the essence of your being. Chosen one. Once your spirit stepped fully into sovereignty, once you claimed your rightful place, something extraordinary began unfolding in the unseen realms, in the hidden dimensions beyond our perception. Heaven started to realign the path beneath your feet, guiding your steps with unwavering precision. The air around your life shifted, the atmosphere transforming as if touched by a divine hand. The energy carried a new weight, a new authority, a new current that even you could feel before you could explain, a subtle vibration that resonated within your soul. For a long time, everything around you felt stagnant, delayed, blocked, or resisted, as if an invisible force was holding you back. Not because you weren't ready, not because you lacked the potential, but because heaven was still preparing you internally, fortifying your spirit for the challenges and opportunities to come. But now that the inner work is complete, now that you have undergone the necessary transformation, the outer world is beginning to move, responding to your newfound alignment. Your discernment has been sharpened, allowing you to see through deception. Your heart purified, cleansed of all negativity. Your identity restored, rooted in truth and authenticity. And your purpose awakened, calling you to fulfill your destiny. And now the divine can finally release what has been stored up for you, the blessings that have been waiting patiently for the right moment. What is coming toward you is not small, not ordinary, and not something the old version of you could have carried, the weight of responsibility that comes with greatness. This is a season of divine promotion, a supernatural elevation that does not follow human logic, timelines, or qualifications, defying all expectations. People may not understand how doors are opening for you so quickly, how opportunities are falling into your lap with such ease. But that is because these doors are not earthly doors, not built by human hands. They are spiritual doors, created by the divine, that have been waiting for your alignment, waiting for you to be ready. Heaven does not operate on effort alone, not on relentless striving. It operates on readiness, on the alignment of your spirit with your divine purpose. And now you are ready, not perfect, not flawless, not without history, but ready in the spirit, ready in maturity, ready in identity, ready in obedience. You have prepared yourself for this moment, and the heavens are responding. Chosen one. When heaven decides it is your time, when the divine decrees that your moment has arrived, nothing created can stand against it. No force on earth can hold you back. Opportunities that were once locked, sealed shut as if by an impenetrable force, suddenly begin to pull themselves in your direction, drawn to you by an invisible magnet. Paths that once felt blocked, filled with obstacles and resistance, begin clearing as if an invisible hand is brushing every obstacle aside, smoothing your way. What once required intense struggle, what once demanded Herculean effort, will begin to flow effortlessly, guided by divine grace. The resistance you battled for years will start to break like fragile glass under the weight of your anointing, your divine calling. Promotion in the kingdom of heaven is not slow, gradual, or predictable, not a measured climb up the corporate ladder. It is sudden, abrupt, accelerative, and often shocking, even to the one receiving it, a whirlwind of opportunity. This is why your spirit has been feeling restless, stirred, or awakened in ways that don't match your physical circumstances. A sense of anticipation that defies logic. Something inside you already knows that movement is happening, that change is in the air. You may not see it yet with your physical eyes, but your spiritual senses are picking up a shift, attuned to the subtle energies around you. Your dreams have changed, filled with new visions and possibilities. Your intuition has sharpened, guiding you with unwavering precision. Your prayers have deepened, resonating with a newfound power. Your sensitivity has increased, making you more aware of the divine presence in your life. These are signs of spiritual transition, signals that you are on the verge of a breakthrough. Heaven's way of notifying your spirit before your life catches up, preparing you for what is to come. Before elevation arrives externally, it begins internally, within the depths of your soul. And as you stand here now, on the precipice of greatness, heaven is preparing to elevate you into a level of favor that exposes the truth of who you really are, revealing your divine potential to the world. This elevation is not about image, ego, status, or applause, not about superficial achievements. It is about position, the divine position required for the next chapter of your calling, the platform you need to fulfill your purpose. You are being placed in rooms where your voice will matter, where your words will carry weight and influence. You are being positioned in environments where your discernment will save others from destruction, where your wisdom will guide them through the darkness. You are being stationed on spiritual assignments that were always yours, etched in your destiny, but could only be given once you became strong enough to carry them, ready to embrace the responsibility. The divine promotion coming toward you will not feel like an addition, not like something extra being added to your life. It will feel like recognition, like a homecoming, recognition from heaven, an acknowledgement of your worth, recognition of the work you did in silence, the hours you spent honing your skills, recognition of the tears that no one saw, the sacrifices you made in secret, recognition of the obedience you walked in, even when it made no sense, even when it was difficult, recognition of the countless moments you chose healing over reaction, truth over illusion, and surrender over control, aligning with the divine will. The world will think you are rising suddenly, that your success is a matter of luck. But heaven knows this has been years in the making, a long and arduous journey. Chosen one. This is also the season where divine wealth begins to shift into your hands, flowing towards you like a river of abundance. Wealth is not merely currency, not just money in the bank. It is capacity, the ability to create and manifest. It is clarity, the wisdom to make sound decisions. It is alignment, the harmony between your values and your actions. And it is influence, the power to impact the world around you. When heaven transfers wealth, it is not given to inflate your ego, to feed your pride. It is given to expand your mission, to amplify your purpose, to enable you to make a greater impact. You're stepping into a season where resources will find you, where opportunities will search for you, and where blessings will chase you down, because the divine trusts you not to squander them, not to waste the gifts that are being bestowed upon you. The financial doors opening now are connected to a heavenly assignment, a divine purpose. The wealth being released is not random, not arbitrary. It is strategic, designed to empower you to fulfill your destiny. And with this new flow, with this influx of abundance, you will begin noticing something powerful, something profound. What used to be difficult for you will become natural, flowing effortlessly. What used to intimidate you will become effortless, within your grasp. What used to drain your spirit will no longer have access to you, unable to touch your energy. This is what happens when heaven elevates a chosen one, when the divine lifts you to a higher plane. Everything that once tried to bury you, everything that sought to diminish you, becomes powerless, losing its grip on your life. Your presence begins to shift atmospheres, transforming the energy around you. Your clarity begins to silence confusion, dispelling the fog of doubt. Your authority begins to influence people you never imagined would listen, reaching hearts and minds you never thought possible. This elevation will not be quiet, not subtle. It will not be hidden, tucked away in secret. Heaven is not promoting you privately, whispering your name in the shadows. Heaven is promoting you publicly, shouting your success from the rooftops. Why? Because your testimony is meant to be seen, your story meant to be shared. Your transformation is meant to be witnessed, a beacon of hope for others. Your rise is meant to be a sign, a testament to the power of the divine. There are people who doubted you, who dismissed you, who misjudged you, and who underestimated you, not realizing that they were speaking against someone divinely chosen, someone destined for greatness. And now the same people who overlooked you will watch you step into a realm they never thought you would reach, a level of success they couldn't fathom. But hear me clearly, chosen one, with every fiber of your being. This elevation is not about proving anyone wrong, not about seeking revenge. It is about proving that God was always right, that the divine plan is always in motion. Your rise is not revenge, not an act of retribution. It is revelation, a demonstration of divine power. Revelation of your calling, the purpose for which you were created. Revelation of your identity, the truth of who you are. Revelation of the hand of heaven that has been guiding your steps since the beginning, leading you toward your destiny. Your elevation is evidence of divine timing, not human approval, not the validation of others. And as you move forward into this season of supernatural promotion, remember this, hold it close to your heart. The blessing is not the destination, not the final goal. It is the activation, the catalyst for greater things to come. God is not giving you more so you can simply have more, so you can accumulate wealth for your own selfish purposes. God is giving you more so you can become more, so you can expand your potential, so you can influence more, so you can impact more, so you can carry what your generation needs, the vision and resources required to create a better world. Chosen one, you are stepping into a realm where everything that was delayed is now accelerating, where time is speeding up. Everything that was hidden is now being revealed, brought into the light. And everything that was promised is now being delivered, fulfilling the ancient prophecies. This is your season of divine promotion, your time to shine. This is your hour of supernatural elevation, your moment to rise. Walk into it with confidence, knowing that you are supported by the divine. Heaven has gone before you, paving the way for your success. As you step deeper into this realm of divine promotion, something even greater begins to unfold, revealing the grand design of the universe. Heaven starts revealing why you had to walk through everything you did, the trials and tribulations that shaped you, the pain, the betrayal, the silence, the isolation, the confusion, the delays. None of it was wasted. Not a single moment was without purpose. Every season that tried to break you was actually shaping the weapon you were becoming, honing your skills and preparing you for greatness. And now, as your elevation becomes visible, as your success shines brightly, the truth behind your journey comes into focus, revealing the divine plan. You are not being punished, not being subjected to random suffering. You are being positioned, placed strategically for a specific purpose. There comes a moment in every chosen one's life when the spiritual preparation transforms into public manifestation, when the inner work becomes visible to the world. You are now entering that moment, stepping onto the stage. This is the season where heaven unveils the reason for every closed door, every unanswered prayer, every detour that seemed unfair at the time, revealing the hidden blessings within. Because now everything is aligning at once, coming together in perfect harmony. Paths you once fought to create, struggling against resistance, are opening on their own, guided by divine grace. Opportunities you never imagined are showing up without effort, drawn to your light. Connections that once felt impossible are forming naturally, almost effortlessly, as if the universe itself is orchestrating each detail, weaving the tapestry of your destiny. Because it is. What is happening around you is not luck, not coincidence, not simply good timing. It is orchestration, divine orchestration, a symphony of events unfolding according to the grand plan. You are stepping into the chapter of your life where heaven is not only moving for you, supporting you from afar. Heaven is moving through you, working directly through your actions. Your presence carries an authority it didn't have before, a quiet strength that commands respect. Your words carry a weight that only comes from having survived what others didn't, the wisdom gained through experience. Your discernment has reached a level where deception cannot hide in your atmosphere, where lies are easily exposed. And your spirit now walks with a confidence that is not human-made, not based on ego or pride. It is heaven-built, forged in the fires of transformation. Chosen one. This is where vindication begins, not the petty kind, not the desire to prove others wrong, not the prove them wrong kind, the need to seek revenge. The divine kind, the kind that reveals truth without you ever speaking a word, simply by shining your light. The kind where people who misjudged you begin to question everything they assumed, seeing the error of their ways. The kind where the narrative spoken against you collapses under the weight of your transformation, crumbling to dust. The kind where everything hidden in darkness gets pulled into the light simply because of your presence, unable to withstand the radiance of your soul. Vindication is not coming through confrontation, not through arguing or fighting. It is coming through elevation, through your ascent to greatness. Heaven is raising you so high that every lie spoken against you becomes irrelevant, fading into insignificance. And as your light increases, as your success grows, you will notice something else, a shift in the energy around you. The same people who dismissed you, who rejected you, will try to come close again, seeking your favor. Not because they have changed, not because they have suddenly become enlightened, but because they can sense what is on your life, the divine anointing that surrounds you. People are drawn to favor, like moths to a flame. They are drawn to anointing, seeking the blessings that flow from you. They are drawn to the stability they lacked within themselves, hoping to find solace in your strength. But you are not the same soul who once tolerated what drained you, the one who accepted mistreatment. You now carry boundaries shaped by heaven, strong and unyielding. You listen to energy, not excuses, discerning the truth behind words. You follow discernment, not emotion, guided by your intuition. And you will know who is meant to walk with you, who is truly aligned with your purpose, and who must watch from a distance, admiring from afar. This clarity is a gift, a tool heaven gives to those entrusted with influence, those who are called to lead. Divine promotion always reveals people, unmasking their true intentions. It shows you who was truly for you, who celebrated your successes, who was secretly threatened by you, harboring jealousy and resentment, and who was positioned by heaven to help you rise, the true allies who will support you on your journey. The masks fall not because you force them to, not because you try to expose their deception, but because your elevation changes the spiritual climate around you, creating an environment where truth prevails. True intentions cannot survive in higher atmospheres, unable to withstand the purity of your energy. Those who come with pure hearts, those who genuinely support you, will rise with you, sharing in your success. Those who come with hidden motives, those who seek to exploit you, will fall away, unable to keep pace with your ascent. This is not rejection, not a sign of your own failings. It is refinement, a process of purification. Heaven is pruning your connections to protect your destiny, removing the obstacles that could hinder your progress. And as the unnecessary falls away, as the dead weight is shed, something powerful emerges, a profound sense of clarity. Clarity of purpose, a laser-like focus on your goals. For the first time in your life, you begin to see yourself the way heaven sees you, as a powerful and capable being. You begin to understand the weight of your calling, the magnitude of your assignment, and the legacy you are being prepared to build, the lasting impact you will have on the world. The fog lifts, the confusion dissolves, the self-doubt fades, and what remains is a deep inner knowing, a quiet certainty that resonates within your soul. A knowing that you were sent here with intention, with purpose, with spiritual authority, a divine mandate. Chosen one. This is the season where your voice strengthens, growing more confident and persuasive. Your steps become intentional, guided by a clear vision. Your decisions carry wisdom, rooted in truth and discernment. You no longer chase, you attract, drawing opportunities towards you like a magnet. You no longer plead, you command, speaking with authority and conviction. You no longer fear, you discern, seeing through deception and illusion. This is spiritual maturity, the culmination of your journey. The kind forged in fire, not in comfort, not earned through ease. And because heaven can trust you with more, because you have proven your readiness, more is now coming, overflowing in abundance. More opportunity, more influence, more resources, more clarity, more strength, more visibility, all flowing towards you with divine grace. This is not a random increase, not a matter of chance. It is a divine release, the fulfillment of ancient promises. You are entering the realm where things that once took years will happen in months, where time is accelerated. Things that once required force, demanding Herculean effort, will begin flowing naturally, guided by divine ease. The pace of your elevation is about to accelerate, defying all expectations. Not because you are striving, not because you are pushing harder, but because heaven is ready, because the divine plan is unfolding. When the divine says now, when the appointed time arrives, nothing can delay it. No force on earth can hold you back. This is your now, your time to shine. Chosen one. Understand this with your whole spirit. Let it resonate within your soul. Your elevation is not a reward for past suffering, not a consolation prize. It is a responsibility, a call to action. You are being lifted because others will be lifted through you, because your success will inspire and empower those around you. You are being given more so that you can give more, so that you can be a beacon of hope in a world that desperately needs it. You are being divinely blessed, showered with grace, because others will discover their own blessings through your obedience, your unwavering faith and commitment to the path laid out before you. You are being elevated, promoted to a higher calling, because your life is not just your own. It is a key, forged in the fires of adversity, that unlocks doors, shatters limitations, and paves the way for countless others. This is the reason your journey has been fraught with such difficulty, the reason you've weathered storms that seemed insurmountable. This is why you faced attacks, both seen and unseen, that felt disproportionate to your surroundings, attacks designed to derail you from your divine purpose. This is why you endured spiritual pressure, a weight that no one around you could comprehend, a lonely battle fought in the depths of your soul. You were not being prepared for a normal, mundane existence. You were being meticulously crafted, molded, and refined for destiny. And now, that destiny, long prophesied and meticulously planned, is unfolding before you, revealing itself in vibrant colors. You survived the fire, emerging stronger, more resilient than before. You endured the breaking, the shattering of old patterns and beliefs that no longer served you. You embraced the healing, allowing the divine balm to soothe your wounds and mend your spirit. You accepted the call, the whisper of purpose that resonated deep within your being. You aligned with the divine, surrendering your will to the higher power that guides your steps. And now, heaven itself is unveiling the next chapter, a chapter where your purpose becomes undeniable, a beacon of light shining brightly for all to see. Chosen one, walk boldly without hesitation or fear. Everything that lies ahead of you is infinitely greater, more profound, more fulfilling than anything you have left behind. This is your season of acceleration, a time of rapid growth and unprecedented progress. This is your season of favor, where blessings overflow and opportunities abound. This is your season of unstoppable divine promotion, where you will rise to new heights and fulfill your highest potential. Chosen one, embrace this moment. As we come to the end of this message, pause, take a deep breath, and truly feel what is moving in your spirit right now. This is not imagination, a fleeting fancy of the mind. This is not simply emotion, a transient surge of feeling. This is divine confirmation, a resounding affirmation from the heavens that you are on the right path, that you are exactly where you are meant to be. You have stepped into your Kairos moment, that precise, divinely appointed time that heaven prepared for you long before you understood the intense spiritual warfare you were facing. Anointed one, your time is now. The supernatural transfer has already begun. The divine download is in progress. The clarity you feel, the fog lifting from your mind, the strength rising within you, a wellspring of power you never knew you possessed, the palpable shift in your atmosphere, a sense of peace and anticipation hanging in the air. These are undeniable signs that heaven has already released what your spirit has been longing for, what your soul has been yearning to receive. You are not merely entering your breakthrough. You are standing in the very heart of it, bathed in its radiant light. Chosen one, walk forward with reverence, with a deep sense of awe and gratitude. What is coming toward you is sacred, a holy and precious gift from the divine. Guard your alignment, protect your connection to the source of all creation. Stay faithful to the truth that woke you up, the revelation that ignited your soul. Keep your spirit open, receptive to the guidance that flows through you. Keep your discernment sharp, able to distinguish between the genuine and the false. And keep your heart anchored in gratitude for the incredible blessings that are about to unfold, the miracles that are about to manifest. You are not who you were when this journey began. The trials you have faced, the lessons you have learned, have transformed you into a vessel of strength, wisdom, and compassion. And the world will not treat you the same after this elevation is made visible, after your true potential is revealed. If this message awakens something deep within you, if it stirred a fire in your soul, let it be known. Share your truth in the comments, let your voice be heard, so that another chosen one can recognize their own divine calling, their own sacred purpose. If your spirit felt seen, understood, and validated, stay connected here. This space was created for those whom heaven is raising in silence, those who are destined for greatness. And if someone in your life needs this confirmation, if you know someone who is struggling to find their way, send this message to them with love, with the intention of lifting them up and reminding them of their inherent worth. This isn't just an ending, a closing of a chapter. It's an activation, a spark that ignites the flame within. Walk in your anointing, embrace the power that flows through you. Rise in your authority, knowing that you are a child of the divine, empowered to create miracles. Step boldly into what God has already prepared for you, the abundant life that awaits you. You are chosen. You are covered. You are becoming. God bless you, chosen one.